messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, tu ballerini tra di noi, ma sono tristi gli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, ho messo gli occhi su di te, per una storia che non so, che vuoi nascondere ma che sta tutta là negli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Balla, non pensiamoci, balla, divertiamoci, balla, sorridiamoci, balla, e diciamoci basta. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, qualcosa vuoi dimenticare, tu balli e non ti stanchi mai, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, tu balli e ridi tra di noi, ma sono tristi gli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, per una storia che non so, che vuoi nascondere ma che sta tutta là negli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, è come sei, somigli un po' a me.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this, our 20th Starfury Facebook Live event. Yes, we've had 20 Starfury Facebook Lives event have taken place since the pandemic began 2 years ago, but we've been using Facebook Live as a way of keeping fans updated on what is happening with Starfury conventions. Now, this is a very important and very last minute Facebook Live, as events took an incredible and very frustrating turn earlier this week, and I felt it was very important to get all the information out to attendees as soon as possible about what's been going on. You wouldn't believe what a stressful week. I mean, this has really been a stressful week this week, but I want to keep you all updated as to what is happening. Normally, I like to get all my ducks in a row before I make announcements, so I've got, everything in place. Unfortunately, not everything's in place, but I just need to get this information out there. Now, as you all know, to cut to the chase, and I'll get to the reasons in a second, but I'll just get this out the way now. I'm having to postpone 2 Starfury conventions for 2022. We're having to postpone Lux 2 and Survival 5 and reschedule them to a later date due to guest availability. So I'll get on to the reasons for that in a moment. But as I said, I wanted to let all attendees know about this as quickly as possible, particularly as Lux 2 is in 4 weeks' time. Well, was originally scheduled for 4 weeks' time, and Survival 5 was in 2 months' time. So I wanted to make sure that all the attendees knew as quickly as possible, just because I know that there's a lot of attendees sorting out travel, accommodation, time off, stuff like that. So as soon as I knew this, I wanted to get it out. Now, we've had an 18-month hiatus caused by this COVID-19 pandemic, and we were able to bring Starfury back last September with Crossroads 3, which is our annual event for fans of Supernatural. And we took very, very sensible COVID safety measures at the event to keep the fans, all the attendees, keep our staff and the guests all as safe as possible. And it all worked out great. And we followed that up with 3 more events. We had our Once Upon a Time event, Enchanted 4, and that was followed by our final Buffy convention, the annual Vampire Ball, and our New Year's Eve celebration, Destiny. And all those 3 events went great. We proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that we could run an event safely, and we ran 4 events without any COVID infections being reported among attendees or the guests or the staff. And we ran 4 very safe and hugely successful events, and all the fans, I felt, had a great time. So we're really looking forward to continuing this success into 2022. And I was already really working very, very hard on the Lucifer event, Lux 2. And I was already starting out guest fees being sorted, flights being booked, accommodation for the guests, all that kind of stuff was in the process of being arranged. And everything looked pretty positive. Now, the first hiccup that I got was on Tuesday night. I got 2 emails. One was from Joe Henderson, and he had to cancel because he was needed in the writer's workshop room for the show he's working on. So he was no longer available to attend. And also Leslie Ann Brandt had to cancel as she had a new show. Now, that kind of thing we can get over. We also had DB Woodside look like it was looking dodgy about whether he was going to be able to attend as well. And it's really frustrating. And I know for the fans, it's very disappointing when you lose guests. But I was looking for replacements, and we've been looking at somebody like Lindsay Gort or Michael Imperiali. However, on Wednesday, we got hit by a bombshell. I received a call from Tom Ellis's manager, and he informed me that Tom has just been cast in a new movie, and it starts shooting on the 29th of January. And that means that Tom is no longer available to attend Lux 2. Now, it's bad enough to lose 2 or 3 guests from an event. Normally, we can work around it. We get replacements in. But when you lose your headline guests, when you lose Tom Ellis, when you lose Lucifer himself, that's an absolute disaster. And I kind of felt that the fans have been waiting for so long, and we were going to be having to do an event with COVID restrictions as well. I felt to run an event after this period without Tom there it just wouldn't have been right. And I just felt we would be better off waiting a bit longer when we can hold the event with Tom himself. Now, Tom's manager was very happy, very helpful with me, very helpful with me given the circumstances. And they've confirmed that Tom will do an event with us as soon as he's finished filming, that Starfury has exclusivity and first call on him for his UK appearances. And we're currently in discussions with them about trying to sort out to reschedule the event. They said you can either, if you're going to reschedule it or you want to do a separate one with Tom, he'll be available to do it once he's finished filming on this film. Now, this is a thing which hits us all the time, though. Guests, their career has to come first. If they get a film or a television show or a theatre, something like that, that's what's going to take priority. Now, as I said, under normal circumstances, I would have still gone ahead with the event. The show must go on. But I just felt after 2 years to try and go ahead with this convention without Tom Ellis, I reckon half the attendees wouldn't turn up, and half the attendees would have, they just wouldn't be happy with the event. And that's not to say the other guests from Lucifer aren't great. The other guests are absolutely awesome, but Tom is the big one. Now, this all happened 48 hours ago. It was about 3-4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon that I had the phone call from Tom's UK management. I went straight on the phone with the Hilton Hotel, and I'm waiting for them to get back with dates to me. And once they've got to get back dates with me, get new dates to me, I've then got to get on to Tom's manager, see that it works with them, get on to all the other actors. I've let them know what's going on. spoken directly with people like Amy and Ildy, spoken to the managers for all the rest. They know what's happening. But before I can announce dates, that all has to be confirmed. However, I felt that I had to get this information out to attendees as soon as possible, even if I'm saying normally I would like to say to you, an event's being postponed, these are the new dates. But I also felt with the convention in just 4 weeks' time, I couldn't leave fans in a situation of booking flights and accommodation, time off work, of leaving it any longer than 48 hours. I even felt 48 hours was a long time. So hopefully this gives you time. If you've got a flight booked or a train ticket or something, you'll be able to change it. Or if you're not booked into the Hilton hotel. It's pretty tough, I have to say, when you cancel or postpone an event like this. And I saw only the other week several people saying I should postpone the event and saying it's easy, you can easily postpone an event. You can't easily postpone an event. And literally the Hilton's already told me what the cancellation charges are, and this has turned a Lux 2 into such an unprofitable event. It's unbelievable what it's going to be costing me, and probably makes a Lux 3 impossible at this point. But I also felt that given this situation, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet on the cancellation charges that I'm faced with on this, because I just really felt there wasn't a point in going ahead with the event in the current state. Now, I'm going to be emailing all attendees about this and letting you know. So I know not all attendees are going to be on this Facebook Live, but we're going to get an email out to all ticket holders so they know exactly what's going on with the event, just to let them know that it's being postponed. And whether it's on a Facebook Live or by email, I'll let attendees all know as soon as we have new dates confirmed through Tom's management. Now, as I said, I'm working on new dates with the Hilton. Please, if you have a booking booked with the Hilton at the Starfury convention rate, don't get in touch with them just yet. I don't want them being inundated with all calls yet. I'm still arranging with the Hilton how we're going to be dealing with cancellations or moving the bookings or so forth. I should know in the next day or so, because this has all happened extremely last minute. So it's very difficult trying to get this all sorted. But as soon as I know what's going on with the Hilton as well, and how that's going to affect attendees in terms of your bookings, then I'll let you all know. Now that then brings me on to Survival 5. So it's not just one event that's being postponed. We've had to postpone 2 events. And as I said, I thought we were beyond having to postpone events. I thought we were over that. And again, it's not because of COVID or guests refusing to attend, but we've now had to postpone a second event. We've got to postpone Survival 5. Now, this all started with last week. I had several attendees contacting me saying that they had heard that through the grapevine, being said in fandom, that filming on Motherland Fort Salem had been delayed until mid-April. Now, I hadn't heard anything from the managers about that. So what I did was I got in touch with Taylor Hickson's manager on Monday, and he confirmed to me that filming has indeed been delayed. It was originally supposed to finish filming. The final season was going to finish filming the end of February. It's now looking like it's going to be filming is going to finish mid-April, which then that means as a result of that, neither Taylor nor Amalia would be available to attend. They would both have to cancel. And given that Fort Salem would be filming at the time, that would mean I couldn't replace them with any guests from Fort Salem. So if we went ahead with the original dates, then we would have had to have not had any Fort Salem representation. Now, one of the issues, and it seems to be a lot of issues a lot of attendees don't kind of understand or grasp, but it's expected Starfury can give out refunds But at the same time, in order to run an event and to effectively make an event possible, I need to be able to pay the guests, I need to be able to pay for travel, the venue, and so much more. And, you know, at the moment, it's kind of like very bizarrely accepted that big rival events much bigger than Starfury, only offer credit, whereas everybody expects Starfury to offer refunds. And you get to a point, if you've had too many refunds, you just can't run the event anymore. And that's what happened with the Greendale event. And to be quite frank, that's what happened with Survival 5 as well. Survival 5 needed to be cancelled because there had been too many refund requests on it. However, when we added in the Motherland Fort Salem guests, literally ticket sales doubled and the event became viable. So if I took the Motherland Fort Salem guests out, half the attendees are only turning up for Motherland Fort Salem. So I would have had to have refunded them. So effectively, the event would have been cancelled. So I felt I had a choice between either cancelling the event completely or moving the event. Now, the great thing about the Renaissance haven't charged me any cancellation fees. They've been, everything was always great with the Renaissance, and they got back to me with dates that day when I spoke to them on Tuesday. So Survival 5 is now moving to the 5th to 7th of August 2022. We actually had a lot of attendees moan about Survival 5 being over school term time and college time, but so I moved it to the middle of the summer, so it's not around term time or college time, and it's at a point when we know the Motherland Fort Salem guests will be available. Now, when an event is postponed, I always let the actors' representation or the actors themselves, if I'm in contact with them directly, but I let them know the new date straight away. And what I don't do is start advertising those guests until they have confirmed their availability for the new dates. And that's a very important distinction to make here, because we don't start advertising the guests for the new dates until we know they can actually do it. And I know a lot of guests, a lot of events, when they have had to postpone an event because of the COVID pandemic, they've just taken their lineup, put it on the new dates, and they haven't had them all confirmed yet. We don't start advertising guests until they're confirmed. And right now, we're waiting on certain guests to reconfirm the new dates. So I'm not going to advertise those guests until we have those new dates. I've spoken with all the representation for all the actors, and they all say they don't foresee any problems at the moment. So hopefully we shouldn't lose anybody. Hopefully we may be able to get a few more back in, like Lindsay Morgan or Maria Avagoropoulos. We're just going to have to see how that goes. So far, because this really only kind of like hit me on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I had all the Lux 2 stuff to deal with. But so far I can confirm that we have Taylor Hickson back on board. We have Tassia Teles is so back on board, and Nadia Hilka is back on board. So those three have confirmed for the new dates. The other 5 guests who were advertised, they haven't said no. We've only just let them know about the change in dates, and I don't want to start advertising them again until they've confirmed we can do those new dates. So I can see somebody panicking over Paige Turco in the message boards. Paige Turco hasn't said no. Paige Turco hasn't said I can't do those dates. Paige Turco just hasn't come back to us yet to confirm that. And I don't want to advertise people until they can do it. And we can look at some of the other people we previously had advertised and see what we can do on that. Hopefully by next week or the week after, we should know about putting that lineup back together. I think we should be able to do that. So Survival 5. Now, in terms of the Renaissance, they're completely different to the Hilton. The Hilton will allow me to cancel all the convention bookings. The Renaissance don't do that. With the Renaissance, it's the same for the Greendale convention I had to cancel because of the huge number of refunds on the Greendale event. But with Survival 5, I can't make them cancel the room bookings, their attitude, and I completely understand this. It has to come from the person who booked the room. So what I'm going to do is when I send the email update to all attendees of Survival 5, the person in charge of conference and banqueting at the Renaissance, she's given me her direct email. So you can email her and you can say, I want to cancel that room. You can even say, can you transfer it to the new dates? So that'll go out with the update that'll be going out in the next couple of days. I'll probably have it going out tomorrow or on Sunday. Just be a second here. So hopefully this is going to be the last of the cancellation. I mean, I thought 2022 was going to be an awesome year. I thought we were going to be over this pandemic. We'd had 4 incredible events, which went really well, showed we could do a Starfury event safely. We had some great events all set up. We've been hit by this. Financially, it's an absolute disaster, which will be very difficult recovering. But I felt it's best to let you know as soon as possible and to let you know we are rescheduling. But I just very much felt we couldn't run Lux 2 without Tom Ellis. I feel people, I mean, even under normal circumstances, if we had lost our headliner, I would have still gone ahead. But I just felt people have waited 2 years, actually 3 years, when you consider Lux 1 was in 2019. And I just think it would have just be completely unfair to go ahead with Lux 2 without Tom Ellis. It would just be wrong for everybody who's waited patiently in supporting the event. And at the same time with Survival 5, I felt it would be completely wrong for everybody who's bought a ticket expecting to see cast members from Motherland Fort Salem to go ahead without cast members for that. For some of you, I appreciate some people may be a bit angry. I appreciate some people may be a bit frustrated by this, but I can tell you now that this was not a decision I've taken lightly. And, you know, I feel that this, for the whole of the attendees, this has been the best decision to take. So that's where we stand on the first 2 dates. I will be sending an email out in the next day or so, either tomorrow or on Sunday, to all attendees of Survival 5 and Lux 2, letting them know what happens, to confirm, please do not contact the Hilton Hotel at the moment. That will just create more issues for me. Don't contact the Hilton Hotel until I get it sorted on my end. Survival 5, you'll have an email contact if you have a hotel room booked, and I'll be sending you out the email contact in order for you to cancel or move your room booking. So that's where we stand on our first 2 events. Now, before I go on to the other events, I also just wanted to confirm something, because I made the announcement, and you also have people that don't wait for my update. There was a lot of people freaking out because earlier this week, Boris Johnson dropped Plan B precautions for the UK in terms of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. And there were a lot of people freaking out about how we're going to be handling our safety precautions at Starfury conventions. And I've been saying for a year now that my own attitude is, and I see a lot of other events do this, I don't do this. What I don't do is I don't just go with what the government guidelines are. I use the government guidelines. It's the same. We do the same in terms of our disability benefits at the moment. You look at the government guidelines and you use that as your starting point. Then you work out from there. You don't go for what the minimum you can offer is. You go for what is the best and the safest that you can offer the attendees. So whatever the changes may be to COVID-19 restrictions with events, I will confirm Starfury is a private event, and I can add additional precautions, which I will be doing for the foreseeable future. Hopefully we'll be over it. Hopefully by April, April or May, we'll be over this. Maybe we won't. So what I will say is that for the foreseeable future, we are maintaining requesting vaccine passports or negative COVID tests from all attendees. We are recommending all attendees get a negative COVID test before attending. We're requesting attendees wear masks, and we will be taking all other precautions that we have been taking. At the moment, I don't see any reason to pull back on our precautions. We'll be maintaining the same precautions. At the same time, hopefully our next event's not for another 3 months. It's just over 3 months away. We could be in a much better situation by then. But at the same time, I don't know how it's going to be then. So I'm not going to turn around and arbitrarily say we are going to withdraw restrictions. We're not. We're going to maintain them. Somebody put about plexiglass. And yeah, I can confirm we did it across all our events last year, and going forward, we've made it clear to the actors we're working with, we're not using plexiglass in any of the photo shoots. We're making photo shoots COVID safe, but we're not using plexiglass. So that's where we stand in terms of that. Now, also, just quickly, a word of advice for all attendees. There's been a lot of talk online, could be just rumors, but there's been a lot of talk online that the UK government is going to stop offering free PCR test kits sometime around mid-June. Now, that hasn't been confirmed. That's just a rumor going around. But just as a word of advice, what I would say is a very sensible precaution is go on our website. We have a link to the NHS website and start ordering yourself PCR kits because they're free at the moment. And if you've got a few Starfury events booked, if you've got a few other events booked over the year, get yourself testing kits for all of those, just so long as you can get them free at the moment. So order them in advance from the NHS to get them free. And that way you can make sure that you're COVID safe before you attend an event. And that way you can avoid having to pay for one. That's just a bit of advice. What I would say is very sensible for all attendees to do. Okay, now we're going to move on to some more happier news on the events which are taking place. So we're just at the moment got a reschedule Hannibal event, and I've got to reschedule our Lucifer event. So those two events need to be rescheduled for later in 2022. However, the first event now, I thought we had an event in a month's time. Thought we had an event the month after. It's going to be 3 months now to our first event, and that's going to be Starfury VaultCon. And that's our celebration of the television series The Boys. Now, that's based on the Garth Ennis comic, and it shows on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, you've got to watch it. It's one of the best TV series ever. And that's taking place from the 8th to the 10th of April at the Hilton Metropole Hotel, Birmingham. And the guests who are going to be attending, we're going to have attending Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander on the television series The Boys. We also have Huey from The Boys. That's actor Jack Quaid. We have Queen Maeve, Dominique McGilligut. She'll be joining us as well. And we also have Chantal Van Santen joining us, who, as well as being on The Boys, she was also on The Flash, and she was in One Tree Hill. So she's got quite a bit of geek cred going on there as well. So there you go. That's 4 guests we've got. I've got to say, considering we've got Anthony Starr going, and we've got Jack Quaid going, I mean, even with only 4 guests, I think this is a must-attend event for any fan of The Boys. I'm currently waiting on responses on 2 more offers we have for major main cast from The Boys. If they say yes, I might be able to announce them next week. We'll just have to see how that goes. But that's Starfury VaultCon, and that's taking place from 8th to 10th of April at the Birmingham Hilton Hotel. And then later that month, that's at the beginning of April, but at the end of April, we have our Supernatural event, and that's Starfury Crossroads 4. And we have a trailer for that. So there you go. That's Starfury Crossroads 4, our fourth event for fans of Supernatural, and that's taking place at the Hilton Metropole Hotel from the 29th of April to the 1st of May. And we have a spectacular lineup of guests for you, starting with Jim Beaver himself, who plays Bobby on the show. Who doesn't love a bit of Beaver? So we've got Jim Beaver joining us. We also have Loki, Richard Spate Jr., the Trickster. We have Tarmo Pennicott joining us. Tarmo also forms a bit of a Battlestar Galactica reunion we have taking place at the event. We have a British Men of Letters reunion taking place with David Hayden Jones on the guest lineup, and also joining him, Adam Furkers. We also have Lindsay McKeon, who, as well as being on Supernatural, was also in One Tree Hill. We have another Battlestar Galactica guest, Rick Worthy. Rick's been in lots of stuff. He's been Battlestar Galactica, Vampire Diaries. We've got Alex Panovich, who's currently in Snowpiercer. He was on Van Helsing and Battlestar Galactica. And another Battlestar Galactica Supernatural guest is Leah Cairns. So we've got 9 fantastic guests for you for Starfury Crossroads 4 at the moment, our Supernatural event. We're working on 1 or 2 more. If you haven't got your tickets for that, you've got to get them soon. Photo ops are on sale for that event now. That's Starfury Crossroads 4. And then the first week of May, we have our Starfury event celebrating the DC TV universe, Starfury Crisis. And here's the trailer for that event. So that's Starfury Crisis, our celebration of the DC TV universe. And we have an incredible selection of both heroes and villains for you that weekend. Not even all the guests are in that trailer. We've got so many of them. We've got Katie Lotz, a Legend of Tomorrow today. She was in Arrow. She's in Legends of Tomorrow. People love her. We've also got Stargirl herself, Breck Bassinger, is going to be joining us. This will be her first ever convention appearance. From Arrow and also Shadowhunters, we've had Kat McNamara. From Supergirl, who plays Dreamer, we have Nicole Maines. We also have joining us Jess McCallan from Legends of Tomorrow. We're being joined from Legends of Tomorrow by John Constantine himself, Matt Ryan. From Batwoman, we have Rachel Scarston, who plays the resident villain Alice on the show. From Supergirl, we have Jesse Rath, who plays Brainiac. Another Legends of Tomorrow, we have Nick Zano, who plays Steel on Legends of Tomorrow. We have the main villain, well, frenemy From Stargirl, we have Shiv herself, Meg DeLacy, coming along. From Batwoman, we have Megan Tandy. From Arrow, we have Joseph David Jones. We have Alfred's daughter. From Batwoman, we have Christina Wolf. From Swamp Thing and also Gotham, we have Crystal Reed. Another Legends of Tomorrow guest, we have Olivia Swan. Quite possibly the most popular guest we've ever had at a Starfury event, Kyla Lee. And finally, we also have Aziz Tesfaye from Supergirl. Wow, what a lineup that is. We're covering Supergirl, we're covering Stargirl, we're covering Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, we're covering Gotham, we're covering Swamp Thing, we're covering it all. We're covering all our bases as much as we can on DC, on the DC television universe. This is an absolutely incredible lineup and you just can't miss it. So I hope we'll see you along at that one. Tickets are still on sale. We've sold about just under between 2/3 to 3/4 of the tickets for that event. Photo ops are on sale as well at Starfury Crisis. Hopefully see you for that. Now, if we're celebrating DC, well, we got to celebrate Marvel as well. And we split Ultimates into 2 events, and we have Marvel or Starfury Ultimates Agents Assemble. That's taking place next June. Here's a trailer for it. There you go. That's Starfury Ultimates Agents Assemble. I'm still working on the guest lineup for that event. However, we have so far attending from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we have Henry Simmons joining us, another actor who was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., plus he was also on Agent Carter, and that's Enver Jokai. From the X-Men spin-off series The Gifted, we have Emma Dumont. We also have from The Gifted as well, Skylar Samuels. And from one of the latest Marvel movies, Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, at her first ever convention appearance, we have Menga Zhang, who played Shang-Chi's sister, Xiling. So this is going to be her first ever convention appearance, and she is very excited to be joining us. I'm still working on other guests for the event, getting back some of the guests we previously had announced, getting some new ones. At the moment, I mean, one of the problems is you're in negotiations with somebody, you're in negotiations for 2 or 3 months, and then they say no, or it doesn't work out, and you've suddenly got to start back at the beginning again. So, but hopefully it's looking good that hopefully in the next week or 2 to 3 weeks, I should be able to announce 2 more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. guests, 2 Marvel movie guests, and a Disney Plus series guest, hopefully. That's what I'm working on at the moment. It doesn't always go according to plan, as you saw happen with Lux 2 and Survival 5, but that's what I'm working on at the moment. We've got a great lineup of Marvel guests building at the moment, including, as I said, Menga Zhang, one of the main stars of one of the latest Marvel movies, making her first ever convention appearance. Now, that brings us into July. And in July, we have our celebration of the television series Outlander, and we have a trailer for you now. There you go. That's Starfury Highlanders 5, and that's taking place from the 1st to the 3rd of July at the Hilton, Glasgow. And that's our celebration of the television series Outlander. And joining us at that event, we have Murta himself, one of the most popular characters on Outlander. We have Duncan Lacroix. We also have joining us one of the most lovely ladies I've ever had the opportunity to work with. We have Sophie Skelton joining us as well. And we also have a guy who's going to make sure we have a crazy weekend in Glasgow, Stephen Cree. You can currently see him as Gallowglass in Discovery of Witches. So there you go. That's 3 guests we've got so far on the Outlander event. We've got more coming. We're in Glasgow, we're in the city where Outlander itself is filmed. We're going to have an awesome weekend at that event. If you're a fan of Outlander, I hope you'll join us. And then after that, we have in August, as I already said, from the 5th to the 8th of August, we have Starfury Survival 5. So that's now taking place 5th to the 8th of August at the Renaissance Hotel in Heathrow. I don't have a trailer just yet because I have to re-edit the old trailer with the new dates on, but I can confirm that we have joining us Tassia Tellis will be along. Also joining us is Nadia Hilker, and from Motherland Fort Salem we have Taylor Hickson. I'm just waiting on the other guests to confirm. That should all be done in the next week or so, but I don't want to start advertising people until they've confirmed. And then that brings us to our final event for 2022 that we have confirmed at the moment. We still have to put in our Lucifer convention. We still have to put in our Hannibal convention, Red Dragon 6, and we will be having a supernatural event later in the year as well. But Starfury Enchanted 4, that's our celebration of the television series Once Upon a Time, and that is taking place from the 18th to the 20th of November at the Hilton Metropole Hotel, Birmingham. So if you're a Once a fan, this is an event for you to come along to. And joining us at that event, we have probably the most popular star of the show. We have the evil queen herself, Lana Parrilla. There you go. Lana will be returning for another Starfury convention. Also joining us will be Beverly Elliott. Also joining us is Raphael Sabaj. Another guest joining us is Merrin Dungy. Also along will be Robbie Kay. And I can now announce we also have Elliot Knight joining us as well. So that's 6 guests we've got lined up for you for Starfury Enchanted already, 5 of whom haven't done an Enchanted event before. There's 2 other guests who I've got provisional agreements going through at the moment. I mean, the event's not till November, and look at what we've built up already. We've got two more guests that we've got provisional agreements going through at the moment who haven't done a Starfury event before as well. So it's all new faces, along with the most popular star of the show, Lana Perella. This one's going to sell out, so make sure to get your tickets soon on that. So there you go. That's our Starfury update for tonight. I just wanted to quickly let you all know where we stood with Starfury events in terms of the two postponements. I needed to get that information out as quickly as possible so you all knew about that was happening now. You have the new dates sorted for you for Survival 5, just reconfirming the guests. I hope to have the new dates within the next week to two on Starfury Lux 2. Got to confirm dates with the Hilton, then confirm those dates with Tom Ellis. As soon as that's done, we can then go with that. We then have the rest of those events. We hope we'll see you along. I want to see you all again because at Starfury, we're part of a family. And one more sad piece of news is it's one of the things that when you have a loss, you can really feel it. And it's very sad to announce that a very popular member of Starfury attendees, a part of the Starfury family, passed away this week. So I just wanted to quickly remember Sven Verdenschott. I wanted to send my thoughts out to his family, to his fiancée, Jazz. I know that all his friends at Starfury viewed him as family, and he will be very much missed. It will be very odd walking into the foyer over at the Renaissance and not seeing him there. But I do know that although the parties will never be quite the same without Sven along at them, that tonight in Valhalla, the parties are going stronger than ever, thanks to Sven. Sven, we remember you and we salute you. That's it for tonight. I'll hopefully have more updates and more news for you very soon, but that's where we stand at the moment. I'll have an update going out by email to all attendees of Lux 2 and also for Survival 5. Have a nice weekend. So I'm not really going to be seeing anybody until VortCon in April, but I hope to see you all then. But have a pleasant weekend in the meantime. Take care and good night.
Oh